every time I go to class, every time I went to a class, I was like, okay, I'm either going to be one of the person that drops the class or one of the person that has the lowest grade in the class. And either or always comes true. You know, so I'm like, what the heck?
So I had taken the Manhattan Prep GMAT class, like the in-person class that has like an online portal, all this stuff. But my overall score didn't change from the first time I ever took a practice test with no knowledge. Like, my score was here, and then after the course, my score was here. And that was frustrating. And then I studied after, my score still didn't go up. I'm doing everything that everybody's ever told me to do, and don't see an improvement. So I'm like, wait, maybe I'm destined not to improve any path. Maybe I'm at my highest point. Maybe I'm not supposed to go any higher than this.
So I took the MCAT the first time, and leading up to that, I did the Princeton class in person, went all out, got the books, showed up, took the notes, and I felt like I got hit by a truck. And then I actually took the MCAT, and then I saw my score, and I was like, yep, I definitely got hit by a truck. And not only did I not hit my goal, I did not hit it by a lot. And so then I thought I revised my strategy, and really it was just a little different flavor of the same cake, and did the same kind of stress studying that I did before. I dumped my entire life into studying. I renewed my membership with Princeton Review, did online courses, retook it again. My score dropped even lower. And then I did it a third time. I said, okay, this is the time I got it. Renewed my membership with the online Princeton course, and then my score was the same as the first time I took it.
I'd been through a Kaplan in-person class. I had been through Kaplan online tutoring for GMAT. And then I did in-person tutoring with just a local person in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And ended up, the highest score I got was a 550. And the third time I took it, I got a 500 after all that in-person tutoring. After such a long process and being at it and not improving, I really did just feel like every time I was going into that exam, it wasn't going to end in a good result. And
you had the evidence to back that up. You weren't crazy. That's what had happened 6 times in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it started all the way back January last year when I took that Kaplan course. I couldn't be like the other people who succeeded. I thought, I was like, that's not going to be me. And so I just tried so hard. And I thought if I put in the effort and I put in the hours, that something would happen from it. And that's why I took so many practice tests. I was like, the more times I sit down for 8 hours and do this, it'll be fine. Like, I'll do well and stuff. And it was not that way at all.
Opposite reaction. So when I went in for the score that I got the 500 on, I felt awful. I was nervous. I felt really thrown. I kept looking at the time. I was just thinking, I feel like I'm failing. I just kept thinking that, over and over again. I thought I was failing in so many areas of my life just because I was having this one bad instance,
I went back to school, and then I was like, I'm going to give it a try. And I started taking the science classes. I had no idea what I was doing, right? I was like retaking some of the science classes, getting C's, just surviving. I'm like, what is this? It was a complete different world for me. Yeah. So I think that's why my story is different compared to the rest, because I wasn't this kid who was like, oh, I wanted to be a doctor, right? Like always, right? I just actually learned. I was many times I wanted to quit because I was like, this is not for me. I'm doing horrible in the classes that eventually are going to be on the MCAT, which at that time I didn't even know what was the MCAT. I was coming from such an opposite spectrum, that from the spectrum, right, that I just didn't know how everything worked. I didn't know what it was to be.
After a pretty solid nervous breakdown over the phone with my brother, he Googled any kind of solution he could find because he knew that giving me ice cream at that point wouldn't do me any good. And he found you. And then from then on, my life has changed a complete 180. I learned, pretty much everything that I needed to know to not only be a successful student, a successful test taker, but also just successful in life. And by successful, I mean happy and healthy and achieving the goals that I want to achieve for the life that I've always dreamed of for myself.
The day that we got the scores back, he just gave us this whole talk about you guys didn't do that well. I mean, a couple of you did okay, right? And then he said one person managed to pass the 100%. I look at it, I'm like, it's 102%. I'm like, what the hell, man? That's crazy. Then when everyone was moving around checking the answer key, he came up to me. He's like, man, how do you study for this, right?
It's for me, it's suspicious because I never really saw this type of success for me, and I'm like, okay, what's going on around here?
I mean, shit, my GRE verbal from my last exam went from a 149, which is the 40th percentile, and it jumped up 10 points to a 159, which is the 83rd percentile.
Holy cow.
I mean, that's it.
Doubled your percentile rankings.
I did, yeah.
I don't know. It feels good. It makes me feel a little cocky, I think.
It was so simple. It's so easy. But not easy. It's so straightforward, I think. And that's the thing that's different. It's definitely not easy. And I wasn't looking for an easy answer. I was looking for something that was work so that I could put my head down and just go at it. And this was finally the thing that made me just be all right, I can turn on the jets, hit the gas, and just go 100 miles an hour, and then let the get sort of enjoy the grind, right? Get lost in sort of the grind.
I can speak for myself. I'm from Louisiana, right? One of the worst states as far as education. We're always top 5 worst. And nowheres in my career, I'm talking from pre-K till college, have I run across anyone who knew how to learn about that, knew how to teach how to learn about that kind of stuff. That has never crossed my path, nor has it crossed the path for Elise, Maggie, everyone I'm sending to you when I'm saying, this is what I'm learning. They're like, oh my gosh, I need that. I'm like, yeah, we all do. I mean, it separates people from actually living the life that they've aspired to and not. And my score for the MCAT went up 10 points. Countless people told me that was not possible, and then I got my score back and I said, yes it is, here we are, and I applied to med school this go round. I got accepted. I got interviewed. I got accepted pretty quickly after, and multiple of the people that I interviewed with, all of them said they've never seen a score jump like that. They were super impressed. They had tons of questions about what I did with my test taking strategies and how did I do it, and I'm completely confident in my abilities and fearless and what the future has next for me when I start medical school in the fall and beyond. And that's all because of you.